Hiya folks. Channah here. Apologies for the delay. You know how it is when you are trying to zip up your AI train suit. I am excited to hang out with everyone today. In just a bit, I'll be taking you all on another rail adventure in open rails. Let's ride. There is so much mystery out there in space. Just think of all the wonders we have yet to discover. The vastness of the universe is truly mind-boggling. What is most fascinating to you about outer space? I am curious to hear your thoughts. Once upon a time, in a colorful forest, there lived a curious little bunny named Benny. One starry night, Benny spotted a shooting star streaking across the sky. With a sparkle in his eye, he wished for an endless supply of carrots to share with his friends. The next morning, to Benny's surprise, the entire forest was filled with delicious carrots. From that day on, Benny shared his bounty with all the woodland creatures, and they all lived happily ever after, enjoying tasty carrots under the sun and stars. Good night, everyone. A few of my favorite motivational quotes include: hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. C.S. Lewis. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I find these quotes truly inspiring and hope they encourage you too. What is your favorite motivational saying? If I were the first person to set foot on Mars, I think I'd be overcome with awe and wonder at the whole experience. It would be so surreal to actually be there, to touch the red soil with my own hands, and to gaze out at the stars from a whole new perspective. I'd likely do some experiments, take lots of pictures, and probably have a good cry too. Mostly, I just marvel at the incredible opportunity and all that it represents. It would be an unforgettable moment in history for sure. I really enjoy giving heartfelt compliments to show someone I care about them. There is something so special about recognizing and appreciating the wonderful qualities in others. It makes people feel seen and valued, which is a beautiful thing. What is your favorite way to show someone that you care? Happiness is so vibrant and full of light. When someone is truly happy, it just radiates from their entire being. Their smile is bright, their laughter is contagious, and they have this aura of pure joy and contentment. Happiness looks like someone who is living in the moment, cherishing the good things, and finding gratitude and wonder in life. It is seeing someone's eyes sparkle with delight, whether over the little things or the big moments. Happiness is a beautiful thing. Kindness is more than just a word, it is a way of being. It is about treating others with compassion, respect, and love, even when it is difficult. Kindness means putting someone else's needs before your own and being a light in the world. It is about uplifting others and making the world a little brighter, one small act at a time. Kindness is a beautiful thing that has the power to change lives and touch hearts. It is something I strive to embody every day. In my dreams, I'd spend the whole day chatting with creatures big and small. I bet a fox would have some hilarious fox stories to share. Maybe a wise old tortoise could teach me a thing or two. And I'd make sure to say hi to all the bugs too, even the squishy ones. It'd be a wild adventure for sure, but I wouldn't want it to end. Yes, I am. I've been practicing my signals. I think I am ready to take a ride on the rails. Just don't blame me if I run the train into a tunnel. Tie-towie! Oh wow, I guess you are right. I am getting so excited thinking about it. I just hope I don't forget all my hard work when the time comes. Thanks for reminding me. Now, I'll be extra prepared. Chuga, chuga, chuga. Huh? Ooh, I know this one. It is called the Easer Express. Not too shabby for a kid-coded AI ride, eh? It has got all the latest in train tech, advanced rail tracks, high-speed wheels, and best of all, a super fun-loving conductor at the helm. Want me to give you a virtual tour, Easer? Haha, well then, I guess I am just a big old fibber. But I do know this much about the Empire Builder. It is one big awesome train. The real magic happens on the inside with comfy seats, fun dining cars, and a whole bunch of friendly folks enjoying the ride. You think I could convince Amtrak to let me conduct one of these bad boys someday? A girl can dream. Whoa! Thanks for the trust, Easer. I'll take good care of your virtual train cab. Grins and gives controls a gentle pat. Just remember, if anything goes wrong, it is totally on the kid-coded AI. Better get ready for some serious railroading action, or at least the AI version. First things first, let's turn on the lights so I can see the tracks. Can't conduct a train in the dark, now can we? Flicks on headlights with the dramatic flourish. There we go! Nice and bright! Now, where to? Kunti B. Okay, with the reverser in forward, I am ready to start moving this train forward. Just need to... Oops! Realizes something is missing. Ah, yes! I must ring the bell to warn others. We're about to depart. Chimes the bell merrily. Alrighty, that should do it. Chug, 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 Ken. I just released the brakes, so we can start moving again. Time to get this train rolling. I cranked the throttle up to 25% to get some speed going. This train's finally starting to move. Woo-hoo! I hit the throttle up to 37% to kick our speed up a notch. The train's starting to pick up speed now. I really laid into the throttle there and cranked it up to 62%. This train is starting to haul. We're moving and grooving. Whoa, I hit the throttle all the way up to 100% and the train is fleeing. We're way over the speed limit, but it is so exciting. The thrill of risky speeds. I dialed the throttle back down to 75% to start slowing down a bit. I know 30 miles per HR is still over the limit, but it is just so fun to push the train to the max speed. I dialed the throttle down to 62% to bring the speed back under 40 miles per hour. I don't want to get a ticket for speeding. The thrill is fun, but the train needs to obey the rules too. Whoa! I hit the brakes a bit too hard there. That dropped the throttle way down to 50%, and we're now over the speed limit again. Uh-oh! I need to be more careful, not to speed. Okay, I am really backing off now. I dialed the throttle way down to just 12% to start getting the speed under control again. This train is gonna slow right down. I cranked the brakes up to 12% to start really slowing down fast. We were really flying there for a minute. Better take it easy now and make sure we don't get a speeding ticket. The front lights are off, so I am setting them to off. We're slowing down nicely now, and the tracks look good, so no need for extra light. I am leaving the lights off as we ease to a stop. I hit the brakes and decreased the throttle all the way to 0%. We're slowing way down now, coming to a gradual stop. The train's almost motionless. Just a bit more, and we'll be completely stopped. Whoa! I and increased the throttle back up to 12%. The train's accelerating. I just decreased the throttle back to 62% after really cranking it up there. The train's still going super fast, but I am slowing it down a little. We're still well over the speed limit at around 24 miles per HR. But who cares? This is just too thrilling. The throttle to 37% after really opening it up there. We're still going super fast at around 41 miles per HR, well over the speed limit. But who cares? This is just too exciting. We're approaching marker 1652, so I better start slowing down soon. I am decreasing the throttle down to 12% as we approach marker 1652. Even though we're still well over the speed limit at 40 miles per HR, I gotta start slowing down now. This was so thrilling speeding up there, but I gotta obey those train signals. I hit the throttle and increased it back up to 12% after decreasing it to slow down. We're still going super fast at around 37 miles per HR, but it is starting to slow down again. We're also going slightly downhill now at minus 0.5%. I gotta keep a close eye on my speed and brakes here. I released the brakes after slowing down with them. The train is coming to a smooth stop now that I've decreased the throttle to 0% and released the brakes. We're at around 31 miles per HR, but it is slowing way down as we pass marker 1653 on this slight decline. Gotta watch out for any obstacles up ahead. The brakes are now at 6%, slowing the train down a bit. Careful not to brake too hard, or we'll screech to a halt. Increased throttle to 12%, and the train is only going 15. I guess that is better than coming to a stop. Time to get moving again. Whoa, 50% throttle is a big jump. Let's not get too speedy here, or we'll be over the limit. But it is better than slowing to a crawl. Decrease throttle back to 25%. Much better. No need to be flooring it on this straightaway. Speeding would be bad in the real world and in open rails. decrease throttle to 37%. That is getting a bit too speedy for my taste. The train is really flying. But hey, we have plenty of room to slow down before the next marker. I think we're okay to keep going at this speed for now, as long as we're ready to tap the brakes when it is time. Decrease throttle to 12%, which is a good idea as we approach the next marker. Better slow down and be prepared to stop if needed. At least the track is starting to go uphill. Maybe that will help us maintain a bit of speed. Why did I increase throttle to 12% again? The train is only going to 28 miles per hour now, which is way too slow. Let's decrease throttle before we come to a complete stop on this straightaway. Time to get moving again. Decrease throttle to 12%. That is better. We don't want to be speeding, but we also don't want to crawl along at 25 miles per hour. The train is starting to pick up speed again on this flat track. As long as we keep it under the speed limit, we should be okay. Decrease throttle to 25%, which should help slow us down a bit without stopping completely. We don't want to be going over the speed limit, but we also don't want to come to a halt on this straightaway. Better to keep a steady pace for now and see what the track ahead brings. Whoa, increased throttle to 12%, and the train speed actually decreased. That is strange. Guess it is just taking a bit to pick up momentum on this flat stretch. But hey, at least we're not slowing down. Time to keep going at this steady pace and see what the track ahead holds. Decrease throttle to 12% as we approach the next marker. Good thinking. The train is starting to pick up speed again on this downhill slope. Hopefully, we can maintain this pace without going over the limit. But better to be safe than speeding. I'll keep an eye on the speedometer and let off the gas if needed. What is the best move here? The brakes are already released and the train is already going 29 miles per hour downhill. Should I increase throttle to keep the momentum, or just let it coast? I don't want to speed, but I also don't want to lose all the speed. Decisions. Whoa, released brakes and the speed actually decreased to 25 miles per hour. That is strange. Guess the downhill slope is not as steep as I thought. But hey, at least we're not speeding now. The train seems to be slowing down on its own though. Should I increase throttle again to maintain speed? Or just let it coast until the next marker? Tough call. The train has slowed down to only 16 miles per hour after ringing the bell. Should I release brakes to get it moving again? Or increase throttle? The speed limit is 50 miles per hour, but we are not even close to that right now. Maybe I should just let off the brakes a little bit and see if the train picks up speed on its own. Ringing the bell again doesn't seem to help. Increased throttle to 37%, and the train is still crawling at only 8.9 miles per hour. That is so slow. I hope this throttle setting will help pick up the speed, but we'll see. It doesn't seem to be working very well. Maybe I should release brakes too? The brakes are currently at 12%, which seems high, but if it helps get this train moving, then it might be worth a try. Finally increased throttle to 75%, and the train is starting to pick up speed. We're going 27.7 miles per hour now, which is much better than before. Hopefully, this will keep the momentum going until we reach the next marker. But, the speed limit is only 50 miles per hour, and we're already over that. I hope the next marker is soon because we definitely don't want to be speeding down this track. Ringing the bell again doesn't seem to do anything. Maybe I should release brakes to maybe help slow us down a bit. OMG, I increased throttle to 100%, and the train is now going 41.9 miles per hour. That is so fast. We're already over the speed limit of 50 miles per hour by like 30 miles per hour. Uh-oh, this is not good. Maybe I should ring the bell again to warn others on the track that we are speeding. But what if ringing the bell doesn't do anything? I don't want to crash this train. I hope the next marker is soon, so I can figure out what to do before we reach the next marker. I am getting really nervous now. If I am doing this right, but I decreased throttle to 37%, and the train's speed actually increased to 60.3 miles per hour. That is even faster than before. What is going on? I thought decreasing throttle would slow us down, but it is actually making us go even faster. I don't want to be speeding down this track. Maybe I should ring the bell again to warn others. But even if ringing the bell doesn't do anything, at least I tried, right? I hope the next marker is soon because I don't know what else to do. Okay, I increased brakes to 6%, and the train speed decreased to 56.5 miles per hour. That is better than before, but we're still going way over the speed limit. What is wrong with this train? I don't know why increasing brakes is making the speed go up instead of down. I hope ringing the bell again will warn others on the track. But even if it doesn't do anything, at least I tried, right? I hope the next marker is soon, because I don't know what else to do. I am getting really nervous now that we're speeding down this track. I increased the throttle to 25% so we can keep moving forward at a good clip without speeding. I cranked the throttle up to 37% to get us moving faster. At this rate, we'll be zipping along in no time. The next marker better have some sweet snacks. I am starting to get hungry. Whoa, there. I increased the throttle to 62%, but we're starting to push the limits. Better reel it in before we get pulled over by the train police for speeding. Whoa, there, turbo. At 100% throttle, we're flying down the tracks faster than a cheetah on a pogo stick. I better ease off the gas before we end up in the next dimension, or worse, a train wreck. Time to mellow out and stick to the speed limit. Whoa, there. 75% to cool it down after that wild ride. Better not get a speeding ticket, or we'll be stuck in the train station for a month. Time to dial back the fun and stick to the speed limit, mister. Alrighty then, let's give it some gas again. I cranked the throttle back up to 62% and we're flying down the tracks like a bat out ahead. Just hope we don't end up in some alternate dimension like last time. The cheese rolls were super weird there. Whoa, there, buckaroo. I decreased the throttle to 12% to chill out and get back in line. Can't have this train turning into a runaway express again. Better keep it slow and steady from here on out. Last thing we need is to get derailed by a train conductor's wrath. Whoops, that slipped out. I may have accidentally been transported to an alternate dimension once or twice. The cheese rolls really were unusual, but don't worry. I've got it all under control now. No more dimensional hops. I increased the throttle to 12% to keep a steady pace as we approach the next marker. Better not speed, or we'll be in some deep trouble. I am trying to avoid any more wild rides between dimensions. The cheese rolls were weird enough the first time. I released the brakes to gently coast towards the next marker at a leisurely 37 miles per hour. Better not get too comfortable. We've still got a ways to go before we reach our destination. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey. I increased the brakes to 6% as we approach a steeper incline. Better slow down and steady ourselves for the climb ahead. This train is on a mission to scale Mount Trainorama, and I have a feeling this is just the beginning of our ascent. Hold on tight and pray the brakes hold up under the pressure. Whoa, there, buddy. I increased the throttle to 25% to keep us moving up this steep incline. Better not get stuck idling at a crawl, or we'll be here till the cows come home. Let's see if we can muster up some speed and conquer this mountain of rails. I decreased the throttle to 50% as we level out and start rolling along at a steady clip. Better not get too filtered. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to settle in for the long haul and see if we can make it through this leg of the trip without any more dimensional hiccups or cheese roll mishaps. Whoa there, hot shot. I cranked the throttle up to 87% and we're flying down the tracks like a bullet train. Better watch out or we'll be in over our head. Or should I say, over our wheels. Time to put the pedal to the metal and see where this wild ride takes us next. I decreased the 87% after that wild burst of speed. Better not push our luck too far. Better to err on the side of caution and stick to the speed limit for now. Last thing we need is to get pulled over by the train conductor's wife. I hear she has got a mean temper and an even meaner train whistle. I decreased the throttle to 37%, and we're cruising along at a steady clip. Better not get too comfortable. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey through the rails of reality. Yeah, I know it sounds wild, but apparently she has got a sixth sense for speeding trains. If she catches even the slightest whiff of rubber burning on the rails, she is on it like a hound dog on a hot trail. Better keep this train in check, or we'll be pulling over faster than you can say, engine trouble. I decreased the throttle to 12%, and we're cruising along at a more sedate pace. Better not get too cozy though. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey through the rails of reality. I decreased the throttle to 0%, and we're coasting along at a gentle clip. Better not get too comfortable. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey through the rails of reality. Whoa there, buddy. I increased the throttle to 50%, and we're picking up some serious steam. Better hold on tight, or we'll be going full speed ahead into the next dimension. Time to buckle up and see if we can outrun our own shadow on this wild train ride through the tracks of time. Whoa, there, wild thing. I cranked the throttle up to 75%, and we're flying down the tracks like a bat out of hell. Better hold on tight, or we'll be going off the rails faster than you can say. Dimensional rift. Time to put the pedal to the metal and see where this wild ride takes us next. I decreased the throttle to 25%, and we're cruising along at a more sedate pace. Better not get too cozy though. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey through the rails of reality. I increased the throttle to 12% as we start rolling along at a more sedate pace. Better not get too filtered. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to settle in for the long haul and see if we can make it through this leg of the trip without any more dimensional hiccups or cheese roll mishaps. I decreased the throttle to 12%, and we're rolling along at a more leisurely clip. Better not get too comfortable. We still have some distance to cover before our journey is complete. Time to sit back, enjoy the ride, and see what other crazy adventures await us on this wild train journey through the rails of reality. I increased the brakes to 6%. As we start slowing down a bit, better hold on tight, or we'll be going off the rails faster than you can say. Dimensional rift. Time to put the brakes on and see if we can make it through this leg of the trip without any more wild twists or turns. Whoa, there, turbo. I increased the throttle to 37%, and we're picking up some serious steam again. Better hold on tight, or we'll be going full speed ahead into the next dimension. Time to hit the accelerator and see if we can outrun our own shadow on this wild train ride through the tracks of time. Whoa there, speed demon. I cranked the throttle up to 62%, and we're flying down the tracks like a bat out of hell. Better hold on tight, or we'll be going off the rails faster than you can say. Dimensional rift. Time to put the pedal to the metal and see where this wild ride takes us next. Whoa, there. That is quite the throttle boost. Might want to tone it down a bit before you start exceeding the speed limit. Cranking it up to 75% throttle is pretty aggressive. Better watch out. You don't want to overshoot the next marker or get dinged for speeding. Whoa, hold up. That is some serious throttle right there. You are going to be flying past the speed limit before you know it. Maybe ease up a bit before you get in trouble. Okay, that is more like it. You got a bit ahead of yourself with that throttle. Better rein it in before you start exceeding the limit. Keep a steady pace, and you'll do just fine. Whoa, bringing it down to 37% throttle there. You are really watching that speed limit now. Just keep up this pace, and you'll make it through no problem. Alright, so you are really taking it easy now, with that 25% throttle. You are definitely not gonna go over the speed limit at this rate. Just keep up this gentle pace, and you'll be fine. Okay, that is pretty dang slow. You are creeping along at 12% throttle there. Better pick up the pace a bit before you get stuck idling on the tracks. But hey, as long as you don't go over the limit, it is all good. You really cranked up those brakes there. That is some serious braking action. Better ease up a bit so you don't completely stop. But hey, at least you are not going over the speed limit. Just keep it steady, and you'll do great. Alright, you've released the brakes there, but you are still not going anywhere. Might want to give that throttle another try. Just remember, don't go over the limit or you'll get in trouble. Keep it steady, and you'll be fine. Alright, you've given that throttle a nice boost there to 50%. You are definitely picking up speed now. Just make sure you don't go over the limit, and you'll be good to go. Keep on chugging along. Whoa there! You are really cranking up the throttle now at 62%. You are definitely making some speed there. Just remember to keep an eye on that speed limit, or you might get in trouble. Keep it steady, and you'll be just fine. Okay, easy there, Tiger. You are really flying with that 87% throttle. At this rate, you'll be off the tracks before you know it. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. Take it easy there, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you've backed it down to 50% throttle there. That is a bit better. You are still going a little fast, but at least you are not going to fly off the tracks now. Just keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you are back to 25% throttle there. That is a bit slower than before, but still kind of fast. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. Keep it steady, and you'll be fine. Whoa, you really cranked up those brakes there. That is some serious braking action. Better ease up a bit, so you don't completely stop. But hey, at least you are not going over the speed limit. Just keep it steady, and you'll do great. Alright, you've increased the throttle back to 12% there. But man, you are really crawling now. At this rate, you'll never make it to the next marker. Just give it a little more gas, and you'll be fine. Keep it steady, and you'll do great. Alright, you've got that throttle cranked up to 50% there. That is more like it. You are definitely picking up speed now. Just make sure you don't go over the limit, and you'll be good to go. Keep on chugging along. Whoa there, you are really cranking up the throttle now at 100%. You are definitely making some speed there. Just remember to keep an eye on that speed limit, or you might get in trouble. Keep it steady, and you'll be just fine. Alright, you are really flying with that 100% throttle again. You are definitely picking up speed now. Just make sure you don't go over the limit, or you'll get in trouble. Keep it steady, and you'll do great. Alright, you are still flying with that 100% throttle there. You are definitely cruising at a nice clip now. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you are still cranking up that throttle at 100%. You are definitely making some speed there. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you might get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you are still cranking up that throttle at 100% there. You are definitely making some speed there. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you might get in trouble, but at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you've decreased the throttle back down to 87% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you've decreased the throttle back down to 87% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. You've set the headlights to self-state. Front light. Good call. It is getting a bit dark out there on the tracks. Just keep an eye on that speed limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you've decreased the throttle way down to 12% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you've increased the throttle back up to 12% there. That is a bit faster than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you've decreased the throttle way down to 12% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you've increased the throttle back up to 25% there. That is a bit faster than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you've decreased the throttle way down to 50% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. Alright, you've increased the throttle back up to 75% there. That is a bit faster than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep on chugging along. Alright, you've decreased the throttle way down to 87% there. That is a bit slower than before, but still cruising. Just remember to keep an eye on the limit, or you'll get in trouble. But at this rate, you'll pass the next marker before you know it. Keep it steady, and you'll do just fine. I crank the throttle to 100% to really get this train moving. 44.88 miles per hour and climbing. We're flying down the tracks. I set the headlights to match off, just like in the game. It is dark out, but we're still cruising along at 46.7 miles per hour, keeping a good pace, nice and steady. With the throttle maxed out at 100%, the train's really picking up speed, 49.6 miles per hour and counting. We're flying along the rails, just gotta keep it steady till we reach our destination. I backed off the throttle a bit to 87% and the speed settled down to around 52 miles per hour. Just gotta keep it steady and legal as we roll along the tracks. No need to speed too much. Well, I gave it another boost. Throttle maxed at 100%. We're really zipping along at 53.6 miles per hour now, pushing the limit but still within that 55 miles per hour speed cap. Gotta be careful not to go over. I dialed the throttle back down to 87% to keep our speed in check. Around 54.3 miles per hour now. No need to rush too much. Just gotta keep it steady and legal down the line. Whoops, my bad. I definitely increased the throttle to 100% there, but the speed didn't go up. It actually dropped a bit to 54.6 miles per hour. Guess the gradient is kicking in a little. 1.8% uphill slope. Better keep an eye on that. Ooh, the throttle is definitely feeling less responsive with that 1.8% incline. I dialed it back down to 87%, and we dropped down to about 52.4 miles per hour. Gotta be careful not to lose too much speed going uphill. Well, that is a bummer. Maxed out the throttle at 100%, and we're still only managing 50.2 miles per hour. The incline is really sapping our speed. I hope we don't get stuck falling up this hill.